This video is proudly sponsored by TBC Live. It's as simple as that. If you want to build your NRL prediction knowledge, make sure you check out the TBC Live. Thumbs up if you think it is going to happen. Thumbs down if you think it's not going to happen. Tigers to score 2 tries in 10 minutes. We've got ya Melbourne Storm to make an error in 3 minutes. We've got ya plenty of players, plenty of fun. Build the leaderboard weekly. And every week there is also a bonus event. This week is the Storm and the Dolphins, in which you can win $50, all just for predicting footy and playing TBC Live. The best part about TBC Live is that it's free. So check out TBC Live on the App Store or Google Play Store today and join the ranks. Just click the link in my bio to download. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your quarterback, and get ready to catch these tips. I've had cracking NFL tips in 2021, 22, and 2023, and I'm back for 2024 season going into 2025 to provide my NFL tips for you guys. Let's get into my NFL tips, guys. Week 1 is here. As an Aussie, I'm excited. So guys, this year with tips, they're going to be a bit faster. They're going to be kind of rapid fire, and I'm not going to be providing bets as such, more as the tips. So the first game at Arrowhead sees my boys, the Kansas City Chiefs, who haven't had the greatest preseason, up against the Baltimore Ravens. This is a tough game. Ravens are going to be a good team once again this year. Chiefs are going to be great as well. I'm going to go with my side, the Chiefs here. I did think about going the upset way of the Ravens. You know, the Chiefs disappointed against the Lions in week number 1 last year. But I think the Chiefs at home and the celebrations that are happening this week involving, winning back-to-back as well tomorrow. So I think the Chiefs get it done. I think it'll be tight. I think the Chiefs win by 6. Up, you've got the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Green Bay Packers. Plenty of changes for both of these sides. A successful season for the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles, not so much there towards the end of the year after a really red-hot start. How are they going to go this year with their new acquisitions? Obviously, the big one, Saquon Barkley at the Eagles there. I think the Eagles, this game is at Brazil, so it's a home game for the Eagles, but it's at a neutral venue, which makes it interesting. I feel like they're going to make a statement here and show just how good they can be this year. So I'm going to go the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Green Bay Packers by 14 points. We get into 3 a.m. on Monday, and it is the Atlanta Falcons at Atlanta hosting the Steelers. And the Steelers, obviously, Russell Wilson has been named as their starting QB for the season, and the Falcons look to bounce back, and they're looking towards a better year, really. I think the Falcons win this one. I think the Falcons are actually a bit of a dangerous team this year. We'll see how they go. Might put up a ladder prediction later on as well, but I'll go with the Falcons to win this game at home and start their season well by 9 points. Next up is the Buffalo Bills at home taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And the Cardinals are definitely a team that can pull off an upset in week 1 and get their season started. After a pretty poor year last year, getting a response at Buffalo would be massive. And I think they can really compete in this game. And even though Buffalo have lost a lot in that side, and they probably won't be as good. They'll still be a good team, but they won't be as good as they've been. I still think the Bills win this. I do think it's going to be close, though. I've got Buffalo beating Arizona by 7. Next up, you've got the Chicago Bears, who have recruited really nicely over the offseason, taking on the Tennessee Titans, who lose Derrick Henry this season. So going to be really interesting. The Titans obviously quite poor last year. Chicago Bears weren't amazing, but towards the end of the year, showed a bit of form, like the Lions the previous year, obviously missing the playoffs, but they're building towards the future. And that's why I feel like the Chicago Bears could be in for a good year. I think the Chicago Bears win this game against the Tennessee Titans. I think that they've got a nice roster building. Chicago Bears win by 10 points. It is going to be kind of tight. I don't see Chicago absolutely flogging them. It'd be pretty cool to see that, but I think the Chicago Bears get a win in week 1. Next up is the Cincinnati Bengals, who also missed the playoffs due to injuries last year, taking on the New England Patriots. And the Patriots have a great record against the Bengals, especially in recent years. If you look at their matchup, I'm pretty sure the Patriots have won at least 4 of their last 5 against Cincinnati Bengals. This game is at Cincinnati, though, which makes it tough. They're going to want to start their season. Joe Burrow back in the side as well, obviously coming back from that injury. I think Cincinnati are going to be too good, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be in that 14-plus margin. So I'm going to play it safe and tip the Bengals here, but I'm going to get the Bengals by 13. Next up is the New Orleans Saints at home at Caesars Superdome, taking on the Carolina Panthers. And the Panthers, really poor season last year. New Orleans Saints, not too bad of a season. Can they go a bit better though this year? Potentially. We'll wait and see how they go. I think their defense can really improve, and I think they've got another level in them, the Saints. I think the Saints get off to a really good start here. The Panthers last year, I still think they're going to be quite nervous having that bad year. Going into this year, I think it's still going to be a mess for this team. So I think the Saints start with a really good win here. Saints to win by 16 points. Now, next up is going to be at MetLife Stadium. It is the New York Giants taking on the Minnesota Vikings, and both of these teams were down struggle streak. Obviously, the Giants a couple of years ago, they were in the playoffs, and then last year went back to, being pretty awful. And this game, they're at home. They're going up against a tough side like Minnesota. How are they going to go without Saquon Barkley? That's the big question, obviously. I'm going to go an upset here, guys. I'm going to go the Giants. I think at home they're going to snatch this one. I think they're going to be very lucky to get this one in the early hours of the morning. I'm going to go the New York Giants to upset Minnesota by 1 point. Next up, it is the Los Angeles Chargers who begin the Jim Harbaugh era at home at SoFi Stadium in California, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the Chargers, lots of expectation on them this year. It just feels like that's been every year, but obviously a new coach, some new acquisitions this season could make them a very dangerous team. The Raiders, they're a very hot and cold team. They can either start really well and then finish off really bad, or start really bad and then run towards the end. They're neither here or there. I think everyone is going to tip the Chargers here. They're at home. Harbaugh, I just feel like everyone's going to do it. I'm going to go against everyone, and I'm going to say that the Raiders find a way to win this game. So the Vegas Raiders to pull off one of the biggest upsets in week 1 and beat the Los Angeles Chargers at LA. I'm calling. Next up is the Seahawks taking on the Denver Broncos. And the Denver Broncos, obviously, Russell's gone there. I'm actually not too sure who Denver's starting QB is, so I do apologize. Up against the Seattle Seahawks, who in the last, 5 years have been quite successful, but unfortunately they've gone lower and lower as the years start to go by. As for this, at Lumen Field, I think they'll be too good. I think they're in for a better season than last season. I'm going to go with Seattle to win by 7 points against Denver in a closer game than people expect. Next up, you've got the Cleveland Browns, who were really good defensively in last season, up against the Dallas Cowboys, who, people think they're going to go all the way and then they just disappoint. They do it every year. In regular season, they're great, unbeatable almost, and then just drop. And we've seen that for years. So, they're aging as well, the Dallas Cowboys now. The Browns have a solid team on paper this season as well. I'm going to go the way of the Dallas Cowboys. I do expect a good season from the Cleveland Browns. I think they've shown last year that they can be a good team, but I think Dallas Cowboys have got enough to get this win. I know they have lost a couple of big ones over the offseason, but I think they've still got enough to get a victory here on the road. So Dallas Cowboys to win by 4. In another upset is my tip. Next up at 6:25 on Monday morning, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Washington Commanders. We'll see how Washington go this year. Obviously been a long time since they've been in the playoffs as well, so they will be wanting to get back there and have a better season around a decent looking team this year. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I can't remember last year, but I'm pretty sure they didn't have the greatest of years, or they were... I can't remember now. It's so long ago, but I think Tampa Bay win. I think they get a nice win at home. Tampa Bay by 14. All right, so the last 2 games, the first one being the Detroit Lions on Monday at 10:20, taking on the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be a great game, obviously a rematch as well. Both of these sides expected to do great things this year. Some great receivers on both ends of the ball here as well. I feel like Detroit have a really nice side, but the Rams can make it really tough in Detroit here. Stafford up against Goff, we get it once again. I'm going to go Detroit. I really liked Detroit last year, and I think they can build off it and have another great season. So I'm going to go Detroit. They won week 1 against the Chiefs in an upset. They're underdogs going into this game as well. I think they do win the game. I'm going to go Detroit to win by 2 points in a really good thriller. And last but not least, ending week 1 at Levi's Stadium, we have the San Francisco 49ers hosting the New York Jets, and they'll be filthy about their Super Bowl loss last season. The Jets, they welcome Aaron Rodgers properly into the side. They've had a preseason, hopefully no injuries for him this year, and hopefully a big year for the Jets because there is expectation for those fans there for a struggling team for a while. The Niners still have a great team. They've done it for years, almost like the Dallas Cowboys. Great regular season. Don't seem to do anything when it comes to crunch time, though. They were very close to winning the Super Bowl last year. They did have injuries throughout that year as well. So it was a successful season, and it probably will be another successful season in the NFC for the San Francisco 49ers. They will beat the Jets, guys, and they will win the game by 10 points. There you go, guys. Those are my NFL tips for week number 1. Make sure you like this video and let me know your tips in the comments. At 5,000 subscribers, if you guys are NRL fans, I will be giving away an NRL membership. And at some point in the season, if I get enough people watching, commenting, that sort of thing, which I know people love my NFL tips, I will do an NFL giveaway. But yeah, let me know your picks. I'm excited for football to be back. Hope everyone has a great week and gets their tips right and goes well in your fantasy. I don't play it, but I know you guys are massive on it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later.